Welcome to chapter 14 of Kin in Line. When when I last was with you, we were looking at a couple of pictures of a female model who seemed to be moving and dancing. And I think with this whole exercise, Jack Lugg organized that we try to focus on movement. And you'll notice on this page, somebody's put a cross next to that and it's been chopped out, and we saw this drawing earlier. It must have been exhibited at one of our sort of student exhibitions. So here I would have had the page full of this woman. I really think this is a good drawing. This is a classic example of what I mean by a drawing being something worthwhile in its own right, even if it isn't an exact replica of any individual person. What's more interesting is the use of line, the movement, that's the quality, all these qualities that are just intrinsic to good drawing. Even the shading behind those powerful looking arms is quite good, although I think I've failed with the foreshortening, possibly just ran out of space at the top there. But again, these were very quick drawings. I mean, I think Mr. Lugg would have given us, just ask this woman to move basically for about 2 minutes, and you just get down what you can, and the effect is actually stunning. I'm so pleased to have found these ones. Here we're on the beach again. So because I lived at Bonza Bay, this was my go-to spot, although this was probably somewhere else, maybe out on one of our ventures, Cove Rock or Kaiser's Beach, or one of those remote beaches near East London. Again, one of my favorite things about a beach, whether it's a photograph or a drawing, is to have figures, human figures, sort of in the land, in the seascape or rockscape. And then the rocks just become kind of abstract shapes. They're not meant to, you can interpret them as rocks, obviously, because you can see this is a sort of cove. Maybe this is Cove Rock. But it's good to have those figures jutting out just to give a sense of size, really, scale. Yeah. Well, we got another page. Back using, keep forgetting the name. There are those two chairs that we saw earlier that Mr. Lugg, in his genius, has used as a prop for the model. So this, I must have just had one pastel crayon. This is sort of brown, which I've used repeatedly. But I like the fact that there's some other little drawings hidden behind there. For a student, you didn't really care about presentation. I mean, I never expected this to be exhibited one day. So I would have just sketched over smaller drawings, quick little sketches like that. But maybe it's a good drawing in its own right. Except, there we go. Yeah, but I think this is a rather nice drawing too. Those two chairs just now used as for a totally different purpose. I actually can't quite work out why they're at the level they are. Maybe they're resting on something higher. Otherwise, this thing doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think we've seen this character before. I did a bigger version of this, and then Jack Lugg came, sat next to me, and did an artist's version, not a student's version. Object drawing. Is it in focus? Because I think this must be from a bull or a cow. And I don't really remember doing this, but clearly took a while to try and capture it. I mean, look at those tooth sockets. It's quite a thing. You see, a lot of people enjoy this sort of really finished, meticulously sort of completed work. And I can see the merit in it, obviously, having done it myself. You know, I mean, it's a graphic shape, and it's certainly, I mean, that's what people want often. You know, go commercial, my father always used to say. Unfortunately, none of us went commercial, and that's why we ended up doing other work. We never did commercial art, and drawings like this might be commercially saleable because people want a finished drawing. But that was not for me. However, looking back now in retrospect, I'm quite chuffed with the fact that I did all these drawings, and I don't even remember doing this, for instance. But again, that's almost a painterly use of line. And those, again, I've got pretty good control of the medium, and that I'm using line pretty nicely. So this wasn't a bad effort. Paper's quite old and fragile now. 40 years? Okay, so I don't even want to look at this because it looks like a throwback to about 3 years ago, previously, as do these. They certainly don't belong in this group at all. Okay, so this was graphic. We had a guy called Demetrius Spiro who taught graphic design, and yeah, I quite like this. This is a silkscreen print, and I guess I quite like it now. At the time, I've never liked it, but having that blank white space on the right, bottom right, if properly framed, I think this could look rather stunning in somebody's lounge. And then I wondered about whether I'd ever done anything with that little sketch that I did, and this was what I produced, 3 musicians. So you remember the sketch, the guy playing the, it's not a flute, it's a penny whistle or a recorder. He was facing the other way. So the problem with these prints is that your image is ultimately always going to be reversed, and maybe the composition also isn't as good, so you've got to take that into consideration. But anyway, it was not a bad effort, really. I suppose it's quite weird. Then I got, this is my going political, and I noticed the color on my phone is totally different to the original, which is a sort of deep red. And the blue is virtually not even visible in the original. But here it's kind of more exposed. So this would have been a woodcut, 3-color woodcut, or lino cut perhaps. It's called the Knock, Albert Lutuli, 1977. Now, Albert Lutuli was won the Nobel Peace Prize for his struggle against apartheid by non-violent means, sort of a non-violent militancy. And so that would be him knocking on the door with a little shack behind, and here is the white man in his mansion or his posh house or whatever, with jail bars, symbolically indicating that not only is he refusing to hear the call for, say, some dialogue, by doing so, he's jailing himself. And that's really what we did under apartheid. Anyway, I must leave it here. I've reached the 10-minute mark, so thanks for watching. Cheers for now.